Hello, Blake Lively here.
Colleen Hoover.
And It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
What's been the best part in making this particular movie?
I've noticed so many beautiful crystals on teeth.
How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you and then we could, I'm just curious.
Welcome back to a new video. Today we will be discussing a very hot topic right now, as I'm sure you're all familiar with the drama going on with the new film It Ends With Us. And if you're not familiar, let me go ahead and catch you up. Unfortunately, this film, based on a novel that was supposed to address heavy themed topics about DV, abuse, and other sensitive issues, was overshadowed by the press and the media drama going on with the cast. Most notably, Blake Lively, the actress who plays the female lead, Lily Bloom, has been getting the most backlash for the way she's marketing and promoting this new film. It doesn't seem like just the public is criticizing her for her lack of awareness, but it also includes a few of her co-stars from the film. So grab your friends, grab your florals, and tune in to this video. Just a quick disclaimer, this book and this movie does include lots of heavy topics about DV and abuse and some very sensitive issues that a lot of people aren't comfortable with. So I'm not going to be going in depth a lot, but it is included in a lot of the movie's themes. So I wanted to include it so I can break down the drama from the media a little bit easier and just give you guys an understanding of why this is going on right now. But if you're uncomfortable at any point, you can definitely leave and just tune into the next video. Now, for those of you who don't know Blake Lively, she's a very popular actress that is most notably recognized for her role as Serena Vanderwoodson in the popular late 2000s drama Gossip Girl. So I grew up watching these teen shows like Gossip Girl, 90210, One Tree Hill. So I remember around this time Blake was really popular and it was the prime of her career. She was definitely CW's it girl. But she has gone on to do other huge projects and films, made a pretty big name for herself in the entertainment industry. Now, the most we've ever heard from Blake was her Met Gala moments, since she is crowned one of the best dressed every year, and through her quirky and wholesome marriage to Ryan Reynolds. We don't ever hear about her being involved in any controversies or scandals really up until recently. Through the messy marketing for this new film based on Colleen Hoover's book, It Ends With Us, it seems to open a huge can of worms that keeps overflowing. This whole scandal definitely gives off the same vibes as the Don't Worry Darling drama with Harry Styles, Olivia Wilde, and Florence Pugh. It started off with the alleged feud between the two co-stars, Justin Baldoni and Blake, who are playing two people in a toxic relationship involving DV in the film. Justin Baldoni is also a famous actor known for many roles, including his most popular role as Raphael Solano in Jane the Virgin. Those two were in a pretty public and messy feud that is still going on and is being more reported than the intended message of the film. Rumors circulated about the feud after fans speculated that Justin was not being photographed with any of his co-stars, nor even near them during public events. Another thing they noticed is that the rest of the cast do not follow him on social media, and of course everybody knows if you don't follow each other on Instagram that it must mean that you have beef. The public began dragging Blake for her inappropriate approach to promoting this film as if it's a lighthearted romantic comedy when the film is far from it. Its message centers around the issue of DV, including emotional and physical harm in relationships as well as the effects of it on victims and people around them. It emphasizes the theme of breaking that repeated pattern and generational cycle of abuse. So Blake has had some questionable moments during her film press tour because she seems to be treating this like a Barbie moment. A lot of people are comparing her to Margot Robbie during her Barbie press tour, which is a different theme, and the marketing was actually appropriate for that film. It Ends With Us addresses extremely sensitive topics for so many victims that it had to be issued a trigger warning. Most people who didn't know anything about the book or the film did agree that they thought it was a rom-com by the way it was being promoted. During this press tour, Blake has focused on more promotion for her new hairline, beverage company, and misrepresenting the film as a lighthearted romantic comedy about a feminist florist with crazy fashion style. And many people called her out for her inappropriate timing and called her tone deaf because she was bringing her products to the film's events and diminishing the story behind the film and the book.
Lily Bloom is a woman who is at a turning point in her life where all of her dreams are coming true. Her dream to open her first shop, her business, a flower shop, she's falling in love, meeting a new best friend. Something from her past is sort of coming up.
People who see this movie, who relate to the topics of this movie, on a deeply personal level, they're really going to want to talk to you. This movie is going to affect people and they're going to want to tell you about their life. So if someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you and then we could, I'm just curious.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Social security number.
I'm a Virgo, so I'm like, are we talking logistics? Are we talking emotionally?
You don't often see a woman that gets to be so multifaceted because you don't often see messy women in film. And so to be able to be a woman who's contradicting herself, but yet it makes complete sense, and seeing the messiness of the human experience, I think is a beautiful thing to see because it makes people feel seen and not alone. And I know that's how I felt when I read Lily.
Not only that, she was also inviting her husband to attend to interviews for the film, and it was extremely awkward to watch. We all know Ryan Reynolds is a very corny, unserious, known for his humor type of guy, so when he tried to make this interview lighthearted, it gave me secondhand embarrassment. He's allowed to support his wife at her premieres, but time and place should be considered when trying to be funny.
Okay. Oh, God.
This is cool. It's not every day the husband gets to interview his wife's love interest in a film. I'm gonna get right to it. How do you explain that?
Brandon.
Tammy, you're great.
No.
Oh my God. Time and place.
It seemed like they really tried hard to create a Barbenheimer moment since Deadpool and Wolverine just came out, but it backfired and failed. Many fans are Team Justin because they state that he's the only one in the entire cast and crew promoting the film and its message appropriately. He's also the director of the film, and his studio, Wayfarer Studios, owns the rights to It Ends With Us, and It Starts With Us. He also seemed to be the only one who actually read the book. In 2019, he actually wrote a letter to Colleen Hoover, the author, and asked to turn it into a movie. This Instagram post was from 2019, where Colleen reposted the letter Justin wrote and seemingly was on board with his idea. As an actor himself, he wanted to show fans some of his range and take on a different role from what he usually does, so he plays Ryle, the male lead himself, and they picked Blake to be Lily Bloom, the female lead. She's also the film's executive producer. Fans have been praising Justin for being vocal about the real issues and themes of the film and appropriately answering questions during interviews. They often compared the interviews between the two co-stars and showed how drastic the energy is between them.
And by the end of the book, I couldn't even read the text on the page because I was crying so much. My wife was in bed next to me and she's, I got snot coming out of my nose. And then I read the reason why Colleen wrote the movie. It was for her mother, who had a real life experience like this. She was Lily Bloom. And I just thought if this could affect me in this way, then I could only imagine what it could do for women and people who are in this situation all over the world. Because all of us have a situation or a pattern that we need to end the cycle of. And I wanted to make sure this film always had a female gaze, and I was never putting myself into it. But one of the things that I think is very easy to say, especially for us men, is why did she stay? And that's the wrong question.
Yeah.
What we need to be asking ourselves is, why do men harm?
When the public began criticizing Blake for her approach to the film's marketing, it began to reveal so much more about the drama behind the scenes. According to Rolling Stone, there was no subtlety when it came to creative differences between Justin and Blake. Blake has spoken out about some of the creative differences between the two, one instance being the music choices. As an EP, she's allowed to manage the financial aspect and sometimes the music choice. As a director, Justin would focus on the creative aspect and storytelling of the project. It seems as though there were conflicts between the two, since there were rumors that Blake was trying to take over the project and make it her own way. There was an alleged argument about the final cut and whose version they wanted to release, and there were also reports that Blake felt that Justin was fat-shaming her because he asked one of the crew members how much she weighed, since he had to lift her for a scene. He admittedly has a history of back problems and wanted to prepare to prevent any accidents from happening. Also, according to Blake's sources, she felt uncomfortable with Justin on set because he held their kisses too long. After all the social media drama overshadowing the film itself, Justin hired a PR crisis manager. Apparently, this PR crisis manager has worked with huge clients like Drake, Johnny Depp, Logan Paul, so that makes things more interesting and very, very intense. But with this controversy, a ton of people are spilling a huge can of worms about Blake being a mean girl and not so nice person, including people who have worked with her before. Apparently, she's been exposed long before this drama happened, but now it only began overflowing because her PR team couldn't hide any of it anymore. Okay, so the internet does what it always does and digs up old footage and moments from the past that were either swept under the rug or overlooked. There was an interview where the interviewer congratulated Blake for her little pregnancy bump, and Blake, trying to be funny, responded, "Congrats on yours too." So let's take a look.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
And let's see what the interviewer said when she spoke out about how she felt during that moment.
No one came out and apologized, and they probably told her, don't come out, don't react, don't do anything, we'll take care of this for you. We'll just say that it's the journalist's fault and that you were offended by her, and then we'll just plant some other good, positive stories.
It was also revealed that the interviewer suffered from infertility issues. Obviously, there's no way for Blake to be able to know that, but her response is still uncalled for nonetheless. A lot of people commented things saying that Blake is the type of mean girl that responds to things in a subtle and toxic way, but you won't even realize you're a target until later. And those are the worst types of people, to be honest.
Oh my god, I love your skirt. Where did you get it? It was my mom's in the 80s. Vintage. So adorable. Thanks. That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen. Oh my god, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it?
The rest of the video is just as awkward as Parker and Blake are having a conversation amongst themselves while the interviewer awkwardly sits there and just watches them. She even titled the video upload as "The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job." People also noticed a couple awkward moments between her and her Gossip Girl co-stars.
Chuck has a matching pet monkey with coordinating outfits, and I was like, I would love to be part of the show, but I can't act with a monkey. And then I got a few of them.
She got a few of them.
Come on, it was a joke.
But she's also got, you know, flaws as well. But I think I'm just brunette because of the books.
And everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway. Awkward moment by me.
To me, it really does look like she tries hard to be funny and control the spotlight on herself. She may portray herself as bubbly and outgoing, but it seems like she always tries to have the last word or be funny when she's making everyone else in the room feel awkward. I also think that her marriage to Ryan Reynolds, a known to be unserious guy, also contributes to her attempt to be funny like him. Ryan Reynolds, in my opinion, can be cringe and corny sometimes. It feels like his personality is always an act that he's putting up for this brand to maintain that golden boy image. If you're a fan of him, that's great. This is just my opinion. I like some of the movies he's been in, but I do feel like he plays the same character in almost every movie, which is just himself. And it's similar to Blake because both seem to be typecasted and don't really have a ton of range. Speaking of their marriage, the public also revisited the past and noticed the time overlaps between their relationship and his marriage to Scarlett Johansson. So for those of you who may not know, Scarlett Johansson and Ryan Reynolds were once married from 2008 to 2011. There were many speculations that he cheated on Scarlett with Blake, and here's why. So a very long time ago, Blake and Ryan met on the set of Green Lantern in 2010. The two hit it off immediately and had great on-screen and off-screen chemistry. They played love interests and had a lot of intimate scenes, as actors do. Blake was in an on and off relationship with her Gossip Girl ex Penn Badgley, and Ryan was still married to Scarlett at this time. Rumors of him having an affair with Blake were rising, as close sources alleged that Scarlett and Ryan started having problems when he began filming for Green Lantern. They separated in December 2010 and finalized their divorce in July 2011. Before their divorce was finalized in July, Blake and Ryan attended the premiere of Green Lantern together in June of 2011 when the film was released. Many people speculated that there was real chemistry and romance between the two co-stars.
Well, I mean, you know, these movies, everything is done pretty carefully in terms of casting and all that stuff. And, you know, we actually got a chance to kind of read together a little bit before when we were trying to figure out who's playing what and all that stuff. And we just had chemistry, and chemistry really, genuinely, is one of the few things in film that you can't just invent or create. It's either there or it's not. So it was fantastic working with Blake. I mean, she just brought every part of herself.
Hey, everyone, say something funny.
The Green Lantern, a movie that many talented people worked on. It is the movie where you met your wife.
It is, yeah.
So it must have some sentimental value.
Yeah, there is definitely some sentimental value to that. There's nothing she can't cook. That's sort of the problem. Aren't actors supposed to be out causing massive amounts of bad press and trouble? But this girl's like in a kitchen all day, baking the crew on our movie, everything you can imagine.
A couple months later, in October 2011, they sparked dating rumors as they were spotted together in public numerous times. Later that year, they were spotted spending the holidays together, and several sources confirmed that they were in an official relationship. Less than 1 year later, in September 2012, the two got married, and get this, they get married on a plantation. I also don't understand how Ryan can get in a serious relationship the same year, only months after divorcing from a 3-year marriage, but hey, that just shows the piece of shit he is. The reason Blake is mentioned in this conversation is because amidst all the controversy with the new film, people are coming out and exposing her for things that were often overlooked. Many people were accusing her of being a homewrecker or knowingly going after a married man, etc., etc. Ryan is the real villain in this story because he allegedly wasn't faithful, but Blake isn't any better if she knowingly went after him when he was married. Love triangles like this happen all the time in Hollywood that it could have been overlooked. Actors on set performing intimate scenes while multiple takes are happening and constantly spending hours together each day. It's bound to happen, and it happens way too often, where the chemistry on screen is often not faked. Blake and Ryan are just one example of the many, but hey, if they're still happily married to this day, then they can go be corny and cringe together. To conclude this video, the entire controversy seems like a hot mess that Blake's PR team is struggling to cover. It seems like with more that is uncovered about her, she's slowly losing her fan base and the public support. It doesn't seem like she'll have a ton of support from fans anymore if she decides to do any more projects. But then again, we understand how cancel culture works. When someone is the hot topic of the month, everyone moves on and doesn't care anymore. I guess we'll see if this controversy will really put a dent on Blake's career, since the movie is rumored to have a sequel called Starts With Us. But after all this mess, I don't think Justin and Blake even want to work with each other anymore, but I guess we'll see. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video. I wanted to include a breakdown of the drama and dissect some of the controversies surrounding Blake that a lot of people are discussing right now. Let me know what you think below if you've read the book or seen the film. Let's hear those thoughts below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.